Try. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, spot on.
Of Court 1 at Inverness Tennis and Squash Club. A big shout out to all our volunteers and staff that have made the event such a success so far. And if you get the chance, make sure you head up to the kitchen to sample some of the incredible home-cooked food that is on offer. Before we bring out the players for our first semi-final, we'd like to thank our headline sponsor, Springfield Properties, as well as our partners, Blue Float Energy and Renantis and Team Scotland. Now it's time to welcome our first set of players to court. Let's make sure you give them a big Invernessian welcome. First onto court, the world number 88, the number 3 seed in this event from Israel, Daniel Polshek. And his opponent, the world number 85 and the number 2 seed from England, Ben Smith. The referee for this match will be Alan Law.
Open 2023 semi-finals day. On court, we have Daniel Polachik from Israel in currently the blue sweater versus Ben Smith from England in the grey top. I'm Kirsty Lobban, and today I am joined by Paul Bell. Paul Bell is the national coach. How are you today, Paul?
I'm good, thanks, Kirsty. Yeah.
Are you excited to be here?
I'm really excited. Yeah, first match of the day. I think it's going to be a good one as well.
I think so. We have 2 players here. Daniel, who is number 88, currently on the World Tour. Ben Smith, number 85, so extremely close in the world rankings, only 3 spots between them. If you had to predict, Paul, what would you say?
It's a tough one. It's a really nice contrast in styles, not just because you've got one of the tallest players on tour against one of the shortest players on tour, but very different ways of playing, but both really exciting young players too. So I think I will go with seed in and say that Ben Smith might sneak this one, but I definitely think it'll be a tight and exciting match.
Fabulous. Daniel has had 10 years on tour. He's had 99 match wins. This could be his 100th. Ben has had 4 years on tour and they have never played each other, so this is going to be the first test for them both. And we will see who comes out on top. This is the second time Inverness has hosted the Springfield Scottish Squash Open. Georgina Kennedy and Sebastian Bomblays were the 2 champions last time in 2021. Both have gone on to have a fantastic run. Sebastian sitting at number 26 in the world and Georgina Kennedy at world number 6. I'd like to think Inverness has something to do with that.
I think it was definitely a platform for them to go on and climb the rankings. So I'm sure that there'll be the players that are in the semi-final today will be hoping for a similar rise up after hopefully a successful event here for them. But it's a big part of squash. You start off at these lower levels and it's kind of you earn your stripes, you put the time in and have to work your way through the different events, and it's a tough rise up the rankings, but like a lot of sports, the cream rises to the top, and yeah, it's been great to see Georgina and Sebastian do so well since they were last here in Inverness. Have you seen either of these players play before, Kirsty?
I haven't actually. I watched them both in their match over the last couple of days. Both extremely exciting players. I think you've mentioned they're completely different in terms of their stature, but both equally as quick around the court and as strong, as powerful as well. So it'll be a fantastic watch, I'm sure, and we'll see who becomes victorious and who will book themselves a place into the final tomorrow.
Yeah, it's one of the great things about squash. There isn't really an ideal body type to
Time.
play, so you can use height as an advantage, and Daniel's obviously
Daniel serving,
a
yeah.
bit shorter, but he has got lots of speed and agility to still pick up the ball before it bounces twice, which is the main thing you need to do. Did you notice who won the spin of the racket to see who serves?
I think Daniel did. I think. We will soon find out. Cameraman on court looking to get shots of the players from the front.
Play will start in 30 seconds. Springfield Scottish Squash Open 2023 men's semi-final match. Daniel Polchuk of Israel to serve, Ben Smith of England to receive. Best of 5 games. Love all.
It'll be interesting to see how they start this match off. They're both, as we've mentioned, they're both really attacking players, but a lot of the time you want to get a bit of a feel for the court, not go too high risk to begin with. So we're likely to see some longer rallies at the start of this first game as they get a feel for each other, and then hopefully relax into the match a little bit more and open up and free their arm off.
I think they'll both be feeling pretty comfortable on there. They both have an opportunity to play on this court before.
1-love.
Lovely shot there by Daniel into the front backhand court. So hopefully both players are coming on feeling pretty good, knowing how the court plays, and are used to the Inverness crowd as well.
Yeah, it is a lovely court. All the players have enjoyed playing on this very traditional squash court. There's a lot of different types of squash courts around now, and it's definitely a favourite.
Oh,
That was nice.
It was good, yeah. The ball was in. Hand out, 1-0.
So obviously the aim of the game at squash is to try and make the ball bounce twice before your opponent can hit their shot. And the use of the nick there, hitting it very hard and fast into the side wall to make the ball bounce twice incredibly quick.
2-1.
It's a great tactic to use. That was a short rally. Mistake off the return of serve.
(3-1).
Ben's starting to feel it right from the beginning.
And
Oh, there's
out.
another one.
Nice.
2-3.
It's exciting squash.
Straight in. I had one feeling out rally and then they're just straight into it with their shots. I remember watching Daniel play when he was still a junior, when I was going to European championships and things like that with the teams, and he's always been this type of player, really going for exciting shots. Oh, there's a dive. Yeah, he loves these fast and frantic rallies. It really plays into his skill set. So Ben likes it too. So it's going to be interesting for Ben to try and play the way that he wants to play, but also not play into the hands of Daniel from a tactical point of view.
Loose ball there. Daniel just slots it in.
Yeah, he did a really good job of burying Ben in the back of the court. A nice tight ball that opens an opportunity, forces a loose ball, just like that one. That's what you're trying to do with your shots to the back. You want to try and get it as tight and as deep as possible to restrict your opponent's swing and hopefully get a slightly weaker shot from them, which will give you a bit more time and space to be able to play one of your more killer shots. Shot, opportunity. This is a nice rally here from Ben, just restricting Daniel's angles and opportunities. Just keeping it nice and tight into the back of the court, waiting for the right opportunity to then attack himself. I think that's what we've seen so far. It's been it was a good start from Ben. He hit a few nice shots, but Daniel managed to get a few really good opportunities that he took full advantage of. So this is a nice rally from Ben.
A great way to finish there.
Of a longer rally too. I think that might be a trend that we see.
4-all.
The longer rallies working in Ben's favour a little bit more.
For our viewers who may just be getting introduced into the game, squash is traditionally played first to 11 points with best of 5 games. Typically match can last 25 to 100 minutes, depending how closely contested the match is between the two players. So we've seen some extremely long rallies so far this match, and we've seen some extremely short rallies as well. So it's hard to tell how long this one's going to last.
Yeah, I think, certainly, I think Ben would prefer it to last a little bit longer, and Daniel will be going for the short, sharp rallies. So it's going to be a bit of a battle to see who can play the game on their own terms.
Down. Hand out.
So the ball just hitting the
5
tin
all.
there underneath the bottom green line on the front wall. The aim is to try and keep the ball between the green line at the bottom and the lines around the top of the walls. You can do whatever you want within that area though. So there's not lots of opportunity for creativity, which is a real asset of both of these players. You can see how they're using really low shots to the tin to try and apply pressure, just like that one, and then lifting the ball nice and high up on the walls too, to try and give themselves a bit more time. Real cat and mouse, trying to maneuver into the best possible position.
Another dive.
He's good at them as well, isn't he, Daniel? That's 2 dives now that he's managed to use to keep himself in the rally. He's only needing to travel a couple, 2-3 meters in the court, but he's having to do it at such speed that he just can't get his feet moving as quickly as he needs to, so in comes the dive. Just shows what a fast game squash is. You don't really see it as much on the TV, but once you're on there and seeing it in real life,
6 all.
it's incredibly quick. You don't get much time between shots. It's a good use of height there from Ben to get himself out of pressure, and he's then able to take advantage of it straight away.
7-6. Not up.
That was a lovely
8-6.
shot. Make the ball bounce
Wide
twice.
right. Could I have somebody to clean the floor, please? I'll try and get...
Often when players are perspiring as much as they are when they fall onto court, it's important that they have facilities to wipe the floor, otherwise it becomes extremely slippery for the players to keep playing, and it becomes extremely dangerous.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of sweaty squash players this week so far, and as we get to the business end of this Springfield Scottish Open, there's going to be a lot of tough matches, and especially if Daniel keeps on diving.
You okay with the floor? Okay.
We'll
left side,
potentially
8-6.
See a few of these stoppages. Ben's just got himself a couple of points lead towards the end of this game. He's done a good job actually of staying strong through some really nice patches.
9-6. Not up.
It's tight.
Hand out.
It's a little bit all or nothing from Polshuk at the
7-9.
moment, isn't it? He's hit some outrageous winning shots, but then just a few too many errors. And Ben's weathered the storm really well.
Down.
Alex closing the gap here.
8-9.
So that was his last ditch attempt, hitting it off the back wall to try and get it onto the front wall, which is where you need the ball to go. Didn't quite make it that time under too much pressure. Really good rally from Daniel Polishuk.
Yes, let. Yeah. Yes, let. Guys.
That was
Talk
a
to
tricky
me.
one.
Don't talk to each other. Select ball. Left side, 8-9.
Both players slightly at
Left
fault
side,
for causing
8-9.
interference. I think probably a let is a fair call, but both of them feel as though they've been hard done by
The two
here.
yous caused the interference. It's a let ball, 8-9.
And apologies for
said
our viewers that, again,
two
aren't
of
maybe
yous caused-
au fait with
The two of
lets
you
or
caused
strokes. How would you decipher what's the difference between the two of them?
8-9.
So if there is interference that causes a player not to be able to play their shot, if it's judged by the referee to be shared interference, no one person at fault, then we'll play a let ball and then you just replay the rally. But then a stroke happens if it's judged that one player has caused that interference and the opposing player was in a really good position to potentially win the rally, and then the referee will award a stroke to that player and they will get the point. With a lot of games out there, I guess it's still quite subjective, so the referee plays a very important role, but also gets a lot of flack as a result of that too. Everyone has an opinion, and the players, as we saw there, usually have different opinions on what the situation is.
Very long rally.
Oh,
Great shot.
that was lovely. He made the court really big there.
Say
Two
again?
lovely shots into the front of the court.
It's because you're slow coming out. You need to get the movement to get out from the ball. Yes. Hand out, 10-8, game ball. Yeah. If I get any
that
more
penultimate
indiscipline
shot from
from
Ben
you, I'll
Smith
put you in
there.
conduct. Understand?
Really
Hand out, 10-8.
forced Daniel
ball.
Polishuk to go into a full lunge close to the splits, and then he just got onto that next ball so quickly that there was no chance for Daniel to be able to recover and get onto that next shot. Really good play.
The 11-8. Game to Smith. Smith leads 1 game to love.
Smith takes first game. Your prediction so far, Paul, is working, I guess.
It was a great first game actually. It just a little bit of ill discipline in shot selection from Polishuk, which gave Ben that opportunity at the end there, and I think that was a bit of a story of the game really. He played some unbelievable shots in that game, but then a few errors and going for those shots in probably not the right situation and from bad positions that Ben was able to take advantage of. I think Ben did a really good job there of staying quite solid. It's what he talked about after his match yesterday, that he'd been working over the summer training periods to try and be a bit more structured in the way that he plays, not shoot to the front of the court
Play will
as much
resume
as he
in
maybe
60 seconds.
would have done when he was a junior, and trying to have a more mature senior game, and he certainly showed that there.
Play will resume in 30 seconds. 15 seconds.
Players both back on court here,
Smith
ready to go
leads.
for the second game.
One game
Smith
to love.
leads 1 game to love.
Love all.
Paul, what do you think Daniel should be doing here to get back into this second game, being 1 game down? What do you think he needs to change?
Well, I think he was playing some really good stuff in that game, but it just kind of comes down to those, like, there was 2 key runs of points there that he lost 3 points in a row twice, and it's just when he loses his structure to his game that he starts to, his natural instincts are to take the ball in short and try and hit those winners, and when they come off, they're brilliant. But he got himself in trouble a few times by going for them a bit too early and being out of position, and there again, it's just not really the types of shots that you should be playing. He's not they're not having the impact that he would hope they would. So trying to play the rallies out a little bit longer, finding the back corners a little bit more, and waiting for the best opportunity to take the ball in would definitely help him out.
I'm not going to take any more insolence from you. Yep. You were in his swing, it's a stroke. Stroke to Smith, 1 love.
He does like to put his opinion across, Daniel. It's nice. I don't think he does it in a disrespectful way, though. It's I feel like a lot of the time the players need to get how they're feeling off their chest in those situations, but you've got to toe the line a little bit too, don't you?
Squash court can quite often feel like a box of emotions sometimes, can't it, Paul?
Feels like that off the court too, watching from me anyway. So yeah, it really challenges you mentally, physically, and emotionally. Ooh, that was a lovely shot.
Hand out.
Mizuki.
1-0.
I guess as a player and an athlete, you know, being so under pressure during a match, I don't think Daniel is travelling with a coach to this tournament. For you and in your experience,
2-1.
how easy is that to find clarity between games? You have such a short period of time to do it. How easy is that?
It's definitely not easy. I mean, the players do it a lot, so they should have a process that they go through to try and get themselves into a positive frame of mind, ready for the next game, whatever happened, whatever has happened in the last game. But you only get 2 minutes between games, and by the time you've come off, especially if you're a little bit agitated for one reason or another, that 2 minutes can go in a flash, and before you know it, you're being called back onto court, and you haven't really reset yourself. So it's very easy to not take advantage of the break in between games, but hopefully the players will be used to it enough that they have a process that they follow and can get themselves back. But so far, I'm not really seeing that Daniel did that very well in that last game. His shot selection's just gone a bit awry. Back to chopping the ball into the front of the court. There's so many little things that can happen in a game of squash that can derail you, and I think these conversations with the referee are not being very helpful for Daniel right now. He just needs to get back to what he's trying to do from a tactical point of view in the game. And put all of his mental strength into doing that. The game gets away from you very quickly, especially when you're the type of player like Daniel who likes to go for lots of shots.
6-2.
Ben really pulling away here. Be quite thankful for the 4-point cushion he's got at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see Daniel kind of realize what's happening here and get a bit of structure back into his game, but Ben will be very happy with how this is going so far. He's not really having to do too much to build this lead right now. This will have been exactly what Ben was hoping for. He knows the type of player that Daniel is, and unfortunately for Daniel, he knows that he's got the potential to do something like this as well. There's another error. We talked about the length of games, Kirsty, at the beginning, and this one is a very short one for squash at this level.
Ten two, game ball. 11-2.
So he needs a reset.
Game to Smith.
That was not a great game for Daniel,
Smith
so hopefully he
2
can
games to love.
use this 2 minutes wisely.
I think the first game was a 16-minute game, and that one was certainly much, much shorter. Ben Smith leads 2 games to love.
Yeah, 6 minute second game there for Ben Smith. He really took advantage of a lapse in focus and concentration from Daniel Polishuk, and he will be very happy with how things are going so far. You can see there after that those interactions with the referee at the beginning of the game, Kirsty, and then 7 points in a row for Ben Smith, mostly down to mistakes coming from Daniel Polishuk's racket. So, like I said, he's got 2 minutes now to regroup, and hopefully he can get back to what he was doing in that first game, because he did show signs that he can really trouble Ben Smith.
In 30 seconds.
Ben straight back onto court, obviously feeling extremely positive. And here's Daniel coming on now.
15 seconds.
Yeah, Ben Smith will be loving life right now. 2 games up. Only 25 minutes into this match. Feeling fresh. His opponent did not show what he was capable of in that last game, so he just wants to kick on now and get this match over and get into the final. So let's hope that Daniel can fight back.
Down. 1 love.
It was Ben going for the nick this time, and Daniel had the opportunity to take advantage of that, but just clips the top of the tin. Your confidence can go so quickly in squash. If you make a couple of errors, then suddenly that tin looks awfully big, and you just find yourself hitting it over and over again. Ben's feeling very good right now.
Great shot. Not one that you see often.
No.
But a tricky one to retrieve for sure.
Is if you get it right, it just runs parallel to that back wall, and it's so difficult to do anything with.
Down. Hand out. 1-2.
Daniel certainly seems to have
Two-all.
got his game plan back at the forefront of his mind. Some 2 nicely constructed rallies there and a good finish.
3-2.
Helped by a couple of errors from Ben Smith. It's a tricky one when you win a game so easily like he did in that second game. You kind of relax and potentially relax a little bit too much. But,
Ben guessing right there. It
And
can go
out.
one of 2 ways.
3-all.
it can. It's a good tactic to use, but you've got to back yourself to be making the right selection, because you can look a bit silly if your opponent just hits it into the open space on the court and you're nowhere near getting to it. But worked out for him that time. That was a good pickup, and he did such a good job of lifting that nice and high up into the air, giving himself time to recover.
No let. Hand out. Hand out. You took the wrong route to the ball.
And
No
he
let.
turned
Hand
that
out.
defense
4-3.
into attack and won the rally off of it. So that's a great job there from Daniel.
On this court especially, because they have
Say again?
the players have so much space, the
You took
ceiling
the wrong
is
route. You went
very,
forward.
very
You had
high,
to go back. No
so
let.
players
Hand
can
out. 4-3.
really
Hand out. 4-3.
look to play with height
Hand
to slow
out,
the game
4-3.
down and
Not debating
get
it. Hand out.
themselves into a
4-3.
better position.
I give you
Yeah,
a
it's a
reason.
great tactic to
4-3.
use,
Play.
especially against an attacking player. So I'm sure we'll see more of it.
Yes, let. It's a let. You swing went top. It's a
I can
let ball.
see
4-3.
why it
Right
is a
side.
let ball here, but it was a very loose shot. But Ben Smith didn't make a huge amount of effort to try and play it. That was nice.
5-3.
Daniel enjoyed that last shot to win the rally, and it's given him a little bit of hope again. It's getting pumped up.
Down.
Ben Smith giving him a
6-3.
few errors in this game too. Maybe relaxed a little bit too much, do you think, Kirsty?
I think possibly. As you say before, it's very hard to come back after having won the second game so comfortably. Daniel's obviously come
Down.
back fighting, and it's put
7-3.
Ben on the back foot a little bit. He's done very, very well to get back into the position that he's in.
Yeah, it's good to see that he was able to regroup there.
They're up. Hand out.
It's a lovely shot, but it was a high risk one
4-7.
again. So it'll take a lot of those to get himself back in. When you're playing, you kind of accept if your opponent, if that's the only way an opponent can win a rally, but playing such a high risk shot, you're kind of okay with that, because you'll back yourself to not allow them to do that shot as
Ben,
many times as
Ben, I
they
let
need
it
to
go. I
get over
couldn't
the
see
line to
ball
win the
the way
game.
that he
So
played it, so
you can be okay with an opponent playing the odd really, really good shot, as long as you're constructing nice
5-7.
rallies. This is a big point though. Well, he's done it again.
Nice.
6-7.
Played a few of those myself, Paul.
You like a cross-court net?
Absolutely.
You were away playing last week. Did you pull a few out when you were playing?
Many.
Nice.
Couldn't stop me. It's just because I didn't want the rally to go on any longer.
Taking Daniel Polachuk's tactics.
No let. You were through the contact, you tried to play the ball, no let, hand out. 8-6. He cleared,
That was
he
an
cleared
important
you there.
point
It
for
was the way that
Daniel.
you approached it. The ball was long.
Keep this lead.
No, it was. It's not
Flipped
excessive.
the momentum
it was okay.
again. It was definitely in Ben's favour there for the last couple of points. So
Hand out.
the shift has
Hand out.
been good for Daniel.
8-6.
It's been interesting so far that that second game was all down to what Daniel did, and kind of this third game has all been down to what Ben Smith has done. He made a lot of errors to give Daniel his lead, but he's played some nice squash to get himself back into it. That was good. Kind of shaped for the cross-court nick, but then hit it straight instead. Created a good opportunity for himself there and clipped the top of the tin. He'll be frustrated with that one.
Players opting to use the towel at the front of the court. It can get very sweaty on there.
7-8.
It's a hot court anyway.
You can see lovely camera angle just to see just how tight the players can keep that ball to the side wall. When you're doing that, it really restricts the shot that your opponent is able to play. And you're hoping that a loose ball, weaker shot is going to come off the back of a shot like that.
Down.
That was tight, and he got the reward for it.
And out.
Lovely rally.
9-7.
Daniel trying to mix up the serve, keep Ben on his toes. And he's game ball up.
Played some really nice rallies here.
10-7.
He's certainly thinking
Game
a
ball.
lot more about his choices when he's on there, and it's paying off.
Hand out. 8-10. Game ball.
He's really got him stretched out here. Can he take advantage? Ooh, that's a nice hold and flick.
Down.
He's hit the top of the tin there.
11-8.
Daniel taking the third game.
Game to Polchuk. Smith leads 2-1.
Exciting stuff. I don't think we would have said after the second game that Daniel would come back there and play some great squash to get himself back in the match.
Yeah, he really did. That was a brilliant game from Daniel. Ben gave him a good chance to get into the game at the beginning with a few uncharacteristic errors. He didn't show any of that in the first two games, so maybe just relax a little bit after how easily he won the second game, but all credit to Daniel Polishuk. He took advantage of that and played some great squash to get over the line and keep this match going.
Play will resume in 60 seconds.
You can see there that really good start from Daniel Polishuk in the game there, getting himself a 7-3 lead before a mini comeback from Ben Smith, but he did a great job in finishing the game off. And let's see what this fourth game brings.
Play will resume in 30 seconds. 15 seconds. Smith leads 2-1. Polchuk to serve. Love all.
So the start of each game has been really important in the last two. Let's
Down,
see
hand out.
who can
1 love.
try and get an early advantage in this one. It's a good start from Ben Smith. He looks a bit more switched on this time.
Stroke to Polchuk. Hand out. 1-all.
That was good pressure from Daniel Polishek. Getting a nice tight ball and forcing the weak shot. Gets rewarded with a stroke. Good one. Making him do some really good work into the front of the court there. That's what he's been trying to do with all of these shots into the front of the court, but executed it brilliantly there. Really stretches him low. It's tough when you're so tall to get down low and quickly into these front corners.
3-1.
So much steadier from Daniel in this game again. He's really got to grips with the tactics that he needs to use to hurt Ben Smith, and is doing a really good job
2-3.
of executing them. That's a lovely lift. Straight lift is a tough shot to play, isn't it, Kirsty?
Really tough. Great ramp there. Ben's done well there, full stretch.
3-all.
The lunge pushes the ball. So Daniel has no chance of getting it out the back. It's a nice shot.
They're both playing some good squash in this game. It's nice to see.
4-3.
Good play from Ben, stretching his opponent
And
front
out.
to back, back to the front again, and then gets the error.
So hard to tell who's gonna
4-all.
take this one. Very back and forth at the moment. 4-all.
They're both starting to use a lot more variety in the way that they're hitting the ball now. We're seeing the ball go up into the air and hit a bit softer.
5-4.
At the beginning of the match it was a bit more fast and furious, and I think it's helping them both just to be a bit more varied in the way that they're hitting the ball, and they're creating more space on the court, which is what you're looking for to then attack into.
6-4.
That was a lovely shot from Daniel Polishuk.
9.
Oof. Opposite end of the spectrum, that one.
Hand out. 5-6. Down.
It's nice,
6
taking
all.
the weight off that ball completely, dropping it in. Daniel didn't see that one coming at all.
Yeah, it was a good structured rally to the back of the court, and then Ben using the surprise tactic to send it short out of nowhere. And it works a treat. That's a nice shot, good pressure into the back. Ben's done well to hang in here. Lovely contrast between one player attacking, the other person defending. And it twos and throws as the rally goes on. This is really good squash.
Down. And out. Yep.
And it's those types of shots that are the difference makers between players that are ranked 80 in the world, like these two, and the very, very tough players in the
7-6.
world. They'll construct rallies in a similar way, but when they get those opportunities, they'll be very clinical, whereas both of these players are hitting some great shots and winning rallies, as you'd expect,
Down.
but then also will put it in the tin.
Could I get court cleaning? Yeah. Thank you.
Strategic dive there, Kirsty. He's never going to get that ball back, was he?
Possibly.
Gets a bit of a break while the court cleaners come on.
Yeah.
He's really out of
Ooh.
position there. It's a good job from Ben to play the right type of shot. He needed that ball to bounce twice, right in the middle of the court, which is slightly different to the way that you'd play most of your shots, but
I think you could see
Both
viewers
okay, yeah?
there. There was the
Hand out,
sweat
7-0.
from Daniel's top, but then the little drops of sweat as well coming off the players as they're playing the rally. You can just shows just how physical squash is and how much the players are exerting themselves to get every ball back. Big point, Paul.
it is a big point, and he's played
No let.
that point really well there, Ben Smith.
What?
Lovely
what
length
you-
into the back of the
Stop,
court.
Stop. What are you asking for? No let.
Daniel doesn't seem to understand
8-7.
why he's not being given a
You
let
were
here.
through the contact. You could have played.
I don't
You
really
were through
know
the
why.
contact.
What the issue was.
Well, you started
See a replay
talking
here.
without asking.
He just went the wrong way, didn't he? He
8-7
went up
left
the
side.
court,
Yeah, I think so.
and then Ben sends it to the back. Great play. You find that situation a lot in squash, and if you can get the perfect weight of shot so the ball bounces twice right at the back of the court, then you can hurt your opponent a lot with those little movements.
Yes, let.
You can tell it's a big point. It's getting a bit scrappy. The
Left.
referee tends to come in and become much more
8-7,
prominent in
left
these
side.
important parts of the match. Lovely shot.
That's a good shot.
Risky, but it paid off.
9-7.
Played two, three really good rallies there to get this lead at the business end of the fourth game.
Nice. Daniel's under pressure here.
He's having to do a lot of work. He's hanging in there though.
Oh,
Great work. Pressure takes its toll.
there we go. Set himself up here for match ball.
It's been a great phase of the match for Ben Smith.
10-7.
4 brilliantly
Match ball.
constructed rallies. Gives himself 3 match points.
Oh,
Wants the referee to win it for him.
You were at the ball, you could have played it. You decided to pull the racket away.
the drama
Correct.
unfolds.
Hand out.
He
8-10.
didn't clear well
Match
enough
ball.
there for it to be a no let. I can understand it being a let, but I think a no let is quite harsh. But I think Ben could also have taken matters into his own hands there too.
All up.
Oh,
There we go.
11-8.
Ben Smith. He's done fantastically well there. Very, very well to clear Daniel out in that 4th game. I'm sure he'll be extremely happy with that
Match to
result.
Smith.
absolutely, yeah. He played some really good squash there. That 4th
games
game
to
was probably
1.
the best game in my opinion. Both players playing really good quality squash,
11-8,
and
11-2,
Ben just doing enough
8-11,
at the business
11-8.
end to get over the line. So great job from Ben there. He was certainly the more structured over the course of the match, and I think that made the difference. "49 minutes, this first semi-final of the men's event."
So Ben will go through into the final versus El Torquay or Lopez, and that will be decided at 7 p.m. tonight. We now have Ben on court with Kev, and he's going to give us an analysis of the match.
I'm here courtside with your winner, Ben Smith. Ben, first player to book their place into the final tomorrow. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. I know how dangerous Dan can be on his day, so and I thought it was a great match. Went 2-love up, felt comfortable, but then you never know with a player of his quality. Can always make it back and make it a tough match like he did. So yeah, glad to get through.
Absolutely. Like you're saying, really tough first game, convincing second. He pulls away in the third. How did you manage to gain your composure again and come through in 4?
Yeah, it's just about resetting and being able to go again, not just hitting for no reason, just getting your basics right and then building from there like I did in the first 2. And obviously he outdid that in the third, so you've got to reset and make sure you do it better in the 4th.
Brilliant stuff. And imagine there's quite a lot of people tuning in back home, watching you, your team behind the scenes. Have you got any words for them?
Yeah, just want to say a big thank you for everyone who's watching and everyone who's helped me get to here, and hopefully one more push tomorrow.
Amazing stuff. So looking ahead to that final tomorrow, Edmund or Kareem El Torquay, what's the plan going to be there to get you to come out on top of that title?
Yeah, just got to watch their match later, see what I can pick up on, but mainly just focus on my own game. I believe in my own ability, so believe in yourself, and then the rest will follow through. So just hope to push on from there.
Amazing stuff. Another massive round of applause, please, for Ben Smith. We'll be back very shortly with more semi-final action as Nardine Garas takes on Grace Gear. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Springfield Scottish Squash Open 2023 semi-finals. Next up in the women's event, welcoming onto court the world number 74 and the number 3 seed from Egypt, Nardine Garas. And her opponent, the world number 53, the number 2 seed from England, Grace Gear. Your referee for this match is Maureen Maitland.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you, our BBC and BBC iPlayer viewers. Today we're in Inverness at the Springfield Scottish Squash Open 2023 semi-finals day. On court today we have Nardine Garas from Egypt in the blue top versus Grace Gear from England in the black top. I'm Kirsty Lobbin, and today I'm joined by Kevin Moran in the commentary box. Kevin, how are you?
I am fantastic, Kirsty. How's things?
All good. We had a fabulous last game. It was great. I'm sure you saw it yourself.
Yeah, it was really good. Ben Smith is, well, he's one of the favourites for this event now, and he was showing his class out there. And the match we've got lined up for us in front of us today with Nardine Garas and Grace Gear is going to be no different. I expect a big match here.
Me too. I think, well, we've got Nardine Garas, who's currently number 74 in the world, and Grace Gear, number 53. They have played against each other before. They had a head-to-head. Nardine won 3-1 in a very close match quite recently, so this should be an absolute cracker. So stay with us, folks. The match should be starting in the next minute or so.
Half time.
Looks like Nardine won the spin there, so she will be serving to start the first point of the very first game in this semi-final. Kev, as a player yourself, during the warm-up, what's the kind of process? I think it might change per individual, but to get fired up and focused, what's the kind of process of getting yourself ready?
Yeah, I mean, really just trying out a few of the shots that you're typically going to use. So making sure you're getting your lines working, your straight drives are getting tight. It's also just an opportunity for you to feel out the court, seeing how it's bouncing on the floor. How do you move forward? You'll see a variety of different players take different approaches. Some will just line themselves up and go for big nicks. Some will just keep it fairly consistent. So it really just depends on the person, but really it's all about getting mentally prepared for what's about to happen. So, and I'm sure these two seasoned pros will be lined up and ready to get going.
Nardine took the last match, Kev, when these two played. If you had to put a prediction on it, who's going to take the win?
It's a really tricky match. I'm looking forward to this one actually, but I do think that Grace, I think she has got good history of getting great results up in Inverness and as part of the Springfield Scottish Squash Open, so I would say that she's my pick for it. Nardine had a really tough last
Springfield
match as well,
Scottish
so
Squash Open
it
2023.
depends if
Women's semi-final
it's going
match.
to eat into her legs or whether she's going to be ready to go again.
Nardine Garris of Egypt to serve. Grace Gear of England to receive. Best of 5 games. Love all. Stroke gear. And out. One love.
I think Grace is still finding sweat from the match before, from the boys.
It's part of the parcel of being a squash player, isn't it, Kirsty? There's always a lot of sweat everywhere.
Two love.
Bit of an edgy start from Nardine. Few errors creeping in.
Couple of short rallies from the players. The first couple of points of the game. Paul and I discussed that. It sometimes takes a couple of points just to really get a feel and get yourself into the match. So I'm sure we're waiting on a long rally here to let the players really feel out the court and make sure they're ready for what's to come.
And out. 3-1.
Oh, she got onto that so quickly. It's a real strength of Grace Gear's speed around the court, just being able to touch the ball onto the front wall. I think she'll try and utilise that quite a bit against Nardine.
Nardine using the height of the ceiling. That's the great thing about this court, in that you can really utilise how much space you really have, either for defending or attacking, even to get the ball back into the back of the court and make it difficult for your opponent to
Yes,
get it out.
2-3.
Nardine, she's just incredibly dangerous when you give her anything around the mid-court. Really good at killing the ball, really good volleys.
Stroked gear.
Just not quite quick enough to get out of that deep lunge. Nardine. Grace is onto the ball so quickly. force the stroke.
Up. And out. Good. 4-all.
Well, Grace just challenging the pickup there of Nardine. That ball was called good by the referee.
And out. 5-4.
Do you see any noticeable tactics, Kev, so far by either player? Do you see anything, are you noticing anything at all?
Not so much tactics, I think the way they play in terms of their style is coming out. Grace is really trying to utilise that front of the court. I think that that's a real strength of hers. When she gets onto the ball quickly or gets the ball moving into the front of the court to make Nardine stretch, that's when she's getting a lot of success just now. And Nardine's just trying to stay in that midsection of the court. Just teeing off on everything that's got a little bit of space to try and put Grace under pressure. And use that creativity that she's got at the front.
Up. And out. 5-6.
Crowds are gathering, Kev, in Inverness for these squash matches. How was the environment on court? Good atmosphere?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great all week as well. We've had some primary schools in to come and make some extra noise on some of the days. And all the players that we've spoken to so far have really enjoyed being part of the event. So hopefully that's something that continues throughout this match and into tomorrow as well.
6-all.
Well, it's toe-to-toe here in this first game. Can't really separate these two. Again on that volley, she's just so dangerous. If you give Nardine any kind of space away from the wall, either if it's on the bounce or in the volley, she's going to look to attack it. She's incredibly accurate in that space.
Stroke to gear. And out. 7-all. Down. 8-7. Yes, let.
Just a little bit of traffic there.
8-7.
It's coming up to the really important points of this first game.
And now there,
7.
Grace pulling away, hoping to take the first game.
Down. And out. 8.
Just snatching at the ball a wee bit there, but it was definitely the right shot to go for. She's got a lot of success with the boasts that she's putting in, Grace.
And out. 10-8. Game ball. Down. And out. 9-10. Game ball. was minimal. 9-10.
Well, I think Grace thought that was a stroke there to win the game, but we go to a let ball, so the point will be replayed.
Grace taking the first game, 11-9.
11-9.
Done really well there to close the game out.
Leads 1 game.
Nardine
to
was
love.
definitely coming back, but Grace takes the first, 11-9.
Play will resume in 60 seconds. Play will resume in 30 seconds.
Both players
15 seconds.
back on court. Grace 1-0 up. Kev, in your experience of being a player, often you don't have the opportunity to travel with a coach. How do you find
Gear
clarity
leads
in those
1 game to love.
between games
Love all.
to understand and analyse the game that you've just played to come back and win the next?
I mean, these players will have set routines. They'll be talking to their coaches before the matches, and they'll have things to really emphasise and think about in between games, whether it's written down on their phones or they just remember it through some other means. They'll definitely be well trained and well rehearsed in terms of what they should do or what they need to think about in order to make sure they come out on top in the next game.
Nardina's obviously come out in this game firing. She's 2-0 up in very quick succession
Done.
and 3-0 up now.
3 love.
Nardine was just so dangerous in that first game, and in the early stages of this second, just a few unforced errors that were really creeping in there towards the end of the first that really cost her it. But there's some fantastic squash been played. I imagine there'll be plenty of fight left in her for this match.
Stroked gear.
Yeah, just trying to do a little bit too much with the ball there. Played it back to herself, and Grace getting the stroke. So she gets the point. Oh, beautiful volley there.
3 all.
So Nardine needed that shift the rhythm of play. Grace was definitely coming back there from being 3-0 down. Nardine switching the rhythm and back up 4-3. It's a nice drop.
5-3. Hand out. 4-5. Down. Hand out.
You get two very different types of both that these two end up playing, which is quite interesting, and it sums up their style of play quite a lot. Nardine really tries to rip it in quickly, and Grace is trying to really just maneuver the ball around the bend to try and drag Nardine forward. But well, she's playing some fantastic stuff now, Nardine.
She is, and as you say, she's just so dangerous around the middle of the court. Anything you give her around that area, she just slots in and finishes the rally. A risky shot that, actually. Could have come right back to her. Wouldn't be playing that myself.
No, me neither. I've not got it in my locker, unfortunately.
Nor me. I guess that's why we're here.
That's
and
why
there
we're
and there.
here. Yeah, exactly.
Down. Hand out. 5-8. Down. Hand out. 9-5.
Well, Grace really needs to just steady the ship here a little bit. Just get hit in her corners again, get in front. She always plays her best stuff, and she's just that little bit more patient and clinical. And then takes her opportunities when they come from that good quality. Great work there. Really stretching Nardine out, moving her all around the court, getting onto the ball quickly, and just playing with really high quality.
You can just see at the edge of our screen here a group of volunteers who have been working this week at the tournament, and some young girls who are quite clearly looking on to these inspiring female athletes, hoping that this could potentially be them one day.
Hand out. 10-7. Game ball.
Nardine goes game ball up here.
Down.
Just pushed it. Nardine takes the second game, 11-7.
11-7. Game to Garris. 1 game all.
Much better game from Nardine there. It just kept the ball out of the tin just a little bit more compared to the first. Grace maybe just lost a little bit of composure with a few unforced errors sneaking in, but we're in for a great match here.
Game on. Gareth to serve. Love all. Down. And out. One love.
Third game here. Games are 1-all. 19 minutes so far for the first two games. We will see who can take the third.
And out. One all. Down and out. Two, one. Yes, out. 2-1. Stroke to gear. 3-1.
That's a great shot. Push straight.
And out. 2-3.
Not actually seen her do that yet. I think she goes into that top left, and often she likes to play that tickle boast or go in with something different. So she's switching things up a wee bit here.
Yep.
Grace Gear just reading that like a book,
And out.
straight onto it, punishing it down that left-hand side wall.
4-2. Stroke to Gareth. And out. 3-4.
Oh, Grace just slipping there at the front of the court.
Well, that was a big skid actually.
Can be so difficult when you do slip,
No light.
lose your footing like that,
You need to take a line to the ball.
to then the next time you make the similar movement and
100%. I
hoping
think
that it doesn't happen again.
when you start to get towards this stage in matches,
And out.
we've just had another semi-final as well. There is quite a bit of sweat on the court, so sometimes that can affect
5-3.
players' ability to keep their balance, let's say.
Sorry, you're right. Apologies. 5-4. Out. Six-4.
Oh, Grace gets her 2-point lead back. She'll try and make a charge for the finish line now, I imagine.
Down.
An header there from Nardine.
7-4.
Giving Grace that extra point could be vital at this stage in the game. It's a good shot.
And out. 5-7.
Well, a great shot there from Nardine, getting herself right back into this game. Know just how dangerous she can be if you leave the ball around mid-court.
Nice.
7-all. Down. And out.
She needed that, Grace. She lost a couple of points.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is really just going to come down to who can stick their neck out in front just that little bit more. When Grace has played her best squash, it's when she's been a little bit more patient and clinical down the walls, getting herself in front to then take the ball in short. And
Yeah.
likewise with Nardine, when she really pushes Grace back, gets that ball mid-court and then can hammer it straight across court.
Oh, she's done well.
Yes, lad.
Just a little bit of traffic, but a great rally there from both players.
9-7. Stroke here. 10-7. Game ball.
Some game balls here for Grace to go 2-1 up. Can she do it first time? It's a good shot.
And out.
Saved one.
Game ball. Down.
Saved two.
He's getting edgy out there.
Ball. Yes, lad.
Fair call, Kev.
Fair call. Yep. Just a little bit of traffic.
Game ball. No right.
Yeah.
Game.
Punishing forehand volley there from Gear. Really stepping in and committing to that shot.
Grace goes 2-1 up. 27 minutes so far for 3 games. We will see if she can close this out in 4 or Nardine can come back and take it to 5.
love.
Well, into the fourth game we go. What do you think, Kirsty? Is it going to be done in 4, or are we in for an epic 5-setter?
I'm going to tell you the easy answer here, seeing as Grace has just taken the first couple of points, but I do think Grace will take this in 4. She's on some really good spells of great squash and just not allowing Nardine to hit any of the balls to her own strengths. Really trying to push the ball into the corners as much as possible. She goes 4-love up here in the fourth game. Are you thinking along the same lines, Kev?
Yeah, I'd push all my chips on Grace for the time being. 4-love up, 2-1 up. Really, really good start.
Seems to have really come out firing here, obviously knowing that she needs to up the pressure and try and put as much stress and pressure on her opponent as possible.
Absolutely. You know just how dangerous Nardine can be from everywhere in the court though, so she could definitely make a late charge for this match.
That post just sitting up there for Nadine to play one of her many fantastic shots, kill cross court that Grace couldn't quite get to. Off. Oh, nice. Nice. Great finish to that rally. Grace done really well there. She was under a lot of pressure there in the mid-rally. Managed to switch the phase of play. Put herself in a good position to win the point.
Well, both players just needing a bit of a towel break there. It's probably getting quite sweaty on the court. So often we see players wipe their hands on the walls, but with these boxes at the front, you can go up and just dry off a little bit easier.
Juliet, you went into your opponent, you didn't go to the ball. Juliet, 7-2.
There's a huge team of volunteers who have made sure that the court is looking fantastic for the tournament, and Malcolm, who works here at Inverness Tennis and Squash Club, has cleaned the back glass many times. So I think he's pretty thankful that the players are going to the towel as well. Grace got a huge lead here. Nardine pulling 1 point back.
3-8.
It's a good shot, just putting Nardine under a lot of pressure there at the front of the court. Changing direction.
9-3.
Well, she can afford a few of those unforced errors with such a big lead. I imagine she'll be gathering herself to come back out and finish this off with some clinical squash. But Nardine is fighting back here.
She absolutely is.
Really well worked rally. And quite unlucky not to get the stroke.
It's a great length. Just really awkward there, bounced out. Grace couldn't quite get the ball back into play. She's doing well here, Nardine, to pull it back a couple of points.
Yeah, she's closing the gap. Grace needs to be really careful here if she wants to maintain this lead.
Shot.
It was a tricky decision there for the referee to make. Kind of awkwardly bounced into the neck and up. But I think a let ball is probably the safest decision.
No let. No let. You need to play that ball.
Well, a bit of traffic, but the no let is given, which means match ball for Grace Gear.
10-6, match ball.
Grace will be trying to close this out on the first chance she can. It's a stroke. One match ball saved.
7-10, match ball. It's let.
I think Nardine there took racket to the face. Hopefully she is all okay. Can easily happen on a squash court with two players moving so fast in such a small space. She's ready to go. That's a really nice shot.
8-10, match ball.
That is 9-10.
Yes, let. That was looser. And yeah, she was close enough.
Let ball there.
9-10, match ball.
Still 9-10. Players will replay the point as a let has been called. Grace wins 11-9 in the fourth game. She books herself a place in the final that will be played tomorrow versus Tori Malik or Asia Harris, who will be fighting out in the semi-final tonight. Grace will now be interviewed by Kevin, and hopefully we will hear from her in a match analysis and how she felt on court today and how she plans to play her match tomorrow. Over to you, Kev.
I'm here courtside with the winner, Grace Gear. Grace, through to another Springfield Scottish Squash Open final. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. I've had a tough run to the final, and that was another tough match, and I'm just glad to get through that in 4.
Amazing stuff. And so many of the big points there, you were able to come out on top. How did you manage to keep your composure during those big points?
I just try to reset between each point, just try and calm myself down, remind myself of what I'm trying to achieve in each rally, and yeah, just try to make it long and hard for her.
And looking towards the final tomorrow, what does your next 24 hours look like? Recovering, talking to your coach?
Yeah, all of the above. I'll get some food now, go back, shower and relax and watch the match later. Asia and Tori will be a good match.
Amazing stuff. And so, former finalist, how much would it mean to you to lift that trophy and call yourself champion tomorrow?
Yeah, it would mean a lot. To go one step further would be amazing. Yeah, I've loved playing here, so yeah, I can't wait to get out here tomorrow.
Amazing stuff. Another massive round of applause, please, for your finalist, Grace Gear. We've got more semi-final action coming later this evening as Spain versus Egypt. Edmund Lopez takes on Kareem El Torki in the men's semi-final. Following that, an all-England affair as Asia Harris takes on Tori Malik as they go toe-to-toe to see who will come out on top and get themselves into the final. Springfield Scottish Squash Open 2023.